I'm playing Nothing Happens in Elmwood for Fantasy Ground College's Founders Day. Tonight I am joined by. So let's start left to right on the tracker.
Hey, so I'm Brian. Today I'm going to be playing a character called Davian Cratch. He's a young human warlock who accidentally made a pact with an almighty being beyond the stars. We're going to see what he gets himself into today.
Yeah, and I am Delta's Ghost on Twitch, and I am playing a character called Theron, who is a paladin, and he is here just to make sure that his folks arrive safe and looking to do good wherever he goes.
Hi, my name is Al. I'm playing Zan, who is a blade dancing drow. Who's not particularly evil, but no one's quite sure what his motives are.
Thank you all for joining me this evening. And a little bit of housekeeping before I begin. I do have express permission from the creators of this module to run this module. It will be available on the DM's Guild sometime in early August. Alright, so let's begin. Gotta open up my big old binder of modules. Alright, so you guys are pretty much a pre-existing adventurers group that has been asked to... One sec. I lost my place. Has been asked to come to Melvaunt in the Forgotten Realms to see to a noblewoman, Lady Elsa Tillingwood. Is anyone here familiar with the Forgotten Realms setting at all, or...?
No.
I am a little from a long time ago.
Oh, okay then. So I'll skip some of the Forgotten Realms lore stuff. But you are brought to her mansion, and you do know that her family's an old noble family, made their wealth in logging and shipping. They in fact own a very large shipping company. You're whisked in almost very, very quickly. And her manservant goes, "Oh, it's good that you've arrived. My dear lady has been afflicted with something especially terrible. You'll see when I bring her to you." And you're brought up through the stairs, past various waiting rooms and parlors and the like, to her bedroom, and you brought to this old woman on a bed. You would know that just from around town, she should be about in her early 60s. But instead, she looks ancient. She looks like if you were to blow on her, she would crumble. She looks exceptionally old and withered and very sickly looking. And she beckons towards you and says, "Come here, young adventurers. Please come closer. With my illness, it's hard to talk."
Did you say?
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just. Did you say she was laying in bed?
Yeah, she's basically laying in a bed, almost, and propped up a little like someone in a hospital bed.
Okay.
She looks exceptionally weak and really old, almost like Night of the Crypt Keeper kind of old, though she's supposed to be in her early 60s. If you get this sense of that this is very unnatural almost. And she tells you, "I do not know what has afflicted me. I've been to all the healers and doctors and alchemists and like. All they know is that it is surely magical, but they do not know how to cure me. I've been slowly wasting away for the past few months. However, I've heard a rumor of a child in Elmwood who can heal with a touch. Bring me this child. I will pay for the child's education, and the child will live in the lap of luxury, if the claims are true. Both him and his family will know no hardship. I offer you 2 healing potions and 100 gold if you return with the child. Does that sound like a good deal?
So you want us to bring this family here into your manor and see if this child can heal you?
Yes. At this point, I'm out of all the conventional options. My contacts are quite good. I do not think they would send me on the wild goose chase.
Theron will step forward and take a knee next to her bed. Milady, this is a mission that we will accept in your honor.
Oh, thank you. I haven't seen such bravery since my youth. What say the rest of you?
Zan nods, puts his hand on Theron's shoulder and nods to her. Says, "I'm with you."
And Davian looks pretty unsure, but he says, "We'll give it a try."
Thank you. At this point, all I have is tries. Now go. I'm sorry, I tire easily these days. My, Gerald, my manservant, will see to you. May the gods bless you and see you well on your journey. And with that, she kind of lies down and almost passes out right in front of you. You could tell just, it was straining. It was really taxing on her to even talk and interact with people. And with that, Gerald will gently and quietly whisk you out of the room and say, I'll give you a horse and a cart to take you on your journey. Here's a map roughly where Elmwood is. Do you, that was just my husband's phone. My apologies.
No worries.
It's the sound from,
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. It's the really annoying sound. That's why I just sort of turned it off. And Gerald will continue. The area should be fine for travelers. You shouldn't, it's well traversed, and there's more guards on there, patrolling the roads. Well, since that nasty Moander incident about 2 years ago, bloody cultists almost burnt the whole forest down. But there isn't any of them anymore, so you should be safe. Please be quick. I'm not sure if my dear lady can hang on much longer. Even 6 months ago, she just looked normal, and this has been a troubling time. Go ahead, sorry I cut you off.
Oh, is there anything more you can tell us about this disease?
Only that
Has anyone else caught it, or was she doing something 6 months ago? Do you remember?
I don't think she was doing anything in particular, anything different anyway. But the Tillingwoods are a powerful family, very wealthy. They own a large shipping company, and it could be some sort of curse set upon us by our competitors.
Can you guys hear?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now, but
Now we can hear you.
Oh, I think I was pressing the wrong button. Okay, so, sorry about that. where was I? No, she wasn't doing anything different than what she normally does. However, the Tillingwoods are a powerful family with a large shipping company. Could be some sort of curse. Or other strange afflictions set upon her by our enemies. I really don't know who to wish her harm.
As Theron leaves the room with the group, he's going to pause for a moment at the door and use his divine sense to see if he picks up on any evil, the like.
You don't get the sense of any evil at all. The only
Okay.
thing you would get is, maybe the faintest trace, coming from the room you were in with, Lady Elsa. But you suspect that it's the disease that's ravaging her that's evil, and not her herself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, you head on the road to Elmwood. Nothing really happens on this journey, but if you guys want to talk and flesh out your characters a little, interact a little, feel free. If not, we'll skip to entering into the town.
But before we leave, the steward, when the steward mentions her enemies,
Yeah?
Theron will ask, what are these enemies that you speak of?
Oh, well, you don't become a great shipping magnate without, cracking a few eggs. You know, the normal sort of, business. I'm sure a few people are quite salty over her expansion across a couple trading routes in Melvant. And she was able to procure a really lucrative shipping channel as well. Or shipping route. That's what makes sense. Shipping route as well. And she also got lucked out and invested in some new technology to make her schooners and sloops a little bit faster than her competitors during her very long life. If you think he's not telling you the whole truth, you can do a insight check to see if he's lying.
Yeah, Theron would like to do that.
Okay, let's roll it.
Do you want that in the chat window or in the dice tower? Or?
Chat window would be preferred so I can see it.
You said insight?
Insight, yes. That's to see if someone's telling you the truth, what their intentions are. You think he's pretty much telling you the truth?
This seems like a regular old curse to me. Sort of thing happens all the time.
Yeah, although it would be a little strange that that you could typically go to a cleric and they would fix you up. It is a little strange that a cleric hasn't been able to fix her. But it could just be a very powerful curse for all you know.
Well, Theron, you're a paladin. Are you trained in the healing arts?
I am to some extent, but if a cleric hasn't been able to heal her, I'm not going to be able to do much for her. I'm assuming a woman of wealth and power would be able to hire some of the best clerics in the land.
You would assume, well...
Well, let's see if this baby can do what a cleric cannot.
Indeed. Alright, and you make your way on the road to Elmwood, and nothing much happens. You actually see a lot of trade going back and forth. Because even though after the Moander incident, it's seeming that the towns that were affected have been slowly rebuilding. And what the Moander incident was, it was a event in the Forgotten Realms and sort of, I think, also part of AL's Adventures League's adventures in a previous season. Basically a bunch of cultists tried to Moander, which is some sort of bad dark god, tried to burn all these woods down, tried to sacrifice people, normal culty stuff.
Just run-of-the-mill culty stuff.
Run-of-the-mill evil culty stuff.
All right, so now we're traveling.
And now you're traveling. If you want to interact amongst yourselves and do a little RP, you're welcome to. If not, we can skip to you entering into town.
So if we are a pre-existing party, I'm going to assume I kind of know skill sets of Davion and is it Zan?
Yep. Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that would be a logical assumption.
So maybe we could share a little bit about each other as we travel.
Sure. If you have a backstory, go right ahead. I figured this is a nice little interlude. If not, we can skip it if you want to discuss your character. Awesome.
So I can tell you a little bit about Theron, or what you would have known traveling with him. You know that he is a half-elf, and he stands about 5'5". He's about 120, 130 pounds. He typically wears chainmail, almost always. Close range, uses a two-hand sword, but he also can swing a shield around and use a javelin. So you guys would have experienced him doing that. He comes from nobility, so he's from a wealthy family. He's probably expressed to you guys that he is the last surviving son of his family, and he's the youngest son, so he wasn't bred for leading in the family, but he has taken on that role. But he still enjoys going out and adventuring and protecting his lands and his people. He's more of a hands-on noble. He's more of he's not lawful good, he's chaotic good. He follows the gods soon, and he loves beauty and love and life and poetry, and sometimes you'll find him writing poetry off on his own, or sharpening his blade.
Oh, that was great!
So that's Theron.
Davian, as I mentioned earlier, is a warlock. He was dreaming. He's a farm boy, happily living in the farmland with his family. When one night in a dream he accidentally stumbled into a pack with a dark one from beyond the stars. Unfortunately, in that dream, a large eldritch horror blast destroyed his home, leaving him unscathed, but murdering his family. And he seeks to find a way to go back in time and make sure that never happened. And he may have already succeeded, and he may be going through some weird time loopy things. We'll see what happens with him. But as a warlock, he's usually more towards the manipulating people rather than straight up fighting. He is scared and timid at heart, not really so much aware of what his own powers are. He's got a few spells that do some damage to protect himself. He's got Charm Person. He himself is a fairly charming person, more disarming than sly and influential. But he's always kind of maybe off a little bit to himself, a little guarded, a little concerned. And that's him.
Excellent.
And Zan is a drow. He never really grew up as a drow. He was, abandoned as a child. He never. Yeah, he's kind of. He doesn't like to talk about it too much. But he was then. He found his way into a circus at a young age. He really did it to survive. He had a good relationship with an elf there who was a sword dancer, sword swallower, and used to do fake combat there, and he learned a lot from him. And as he grew, he used to go out at night actually and steal food from wherever they were staying. And he was caught one time, and it looked bad at the circus, so he's kicked out of the circus. And now he found himself wandering. He gets on with Davion a bit because they're both very quiet and keep to themselves.
Oh, that's great, guys. That's a really great RPing right there.
Yeah, good stories.
So I asked Zan, so what sort of abilities do you have?
And when he says that, you've often seen him kind of he almost goes off to himself in the mornings, and it's almost like if you've seen these Shaolin monks dancing with swords. He gets two scimitars out and does a bunch of patterns, and he has some one has white sashes tied to the base of it, and one has black sashes. You're not exactly sure why, but he's a blade dancer basically.
Awesome.
So is that answer your question?
Yes. I guess we'll see if those blades are more for just entertainment.
All right. And then you slowly, over the weeks, make it to the tiny hamlet of Elmwood. You enter into the town, check in at the local inn, put away your horse and cart. You ask around a little, and people point you to the house of Madeline Bird. And they even come and tell you, oh yes, we have been blessed with a very special child. Little Marco does have the gift of healing. And they'll tell you stories about how he healed this person, that person, how cute he is. He's about toddler age. And you make your way over to the house. Is anyone going to knock on the door?
I think we let Theron take charge on this.
Yeah, I agree. I think I feel like Theron is kind of the natural leader of this group.
Okay.
Okay. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the town? Is it a large town, small town? Are there multiple shops, travelers?
It's a rather small-ish town. You get the sense that they do a lot of logging. There's an inn, there's like a general store. You get the sense that it may be at most 200 people live here, I'd say. It's on the small side of things. But it's
Okay.
a tight little community, and they all share. They will still tell. You also see that there's a lot of new construction, and they'll tell you that during the Meander incident they were attacked. But thankfully things are coming back together, and the town is on its way up.
Okay. While we're talking to people and they're telling us about the cute little boy, blah, 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 can we just offhandedly ask or say that, it's amazing that this child has exhibited these abilities. you have any idea how this child was able to heal like he does?
They will give you a bunch of different answers. Some of the more religious people will say it's a blessing from the gods. Something that they needed after suffering so greatly at the hand of these cultists. And that's a sign of the things coming back into order. Others will just shrug and say it's just magic. Some people are just born with magic, and he seems to have healing magic. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Others, yeah, those are basically the two responses. It's magic or some sort of religious sort of explanation that this is from the gods and a blessing from the gods, etc., etc.
And what was the lady's name that sent us? Sorry, I didn't write that down.
Lady Elsa Tillingwood. She runs a large shipping company, and she offered you 2 healing potions and 100 gold if you return with the child. And also to convey that to the child's parents and family that the whole family can come live with her in luxury and basically almost become minor nobles. If it's true.
So while we're not talking to any of the townsfolk, I go over to Theron and Zan and ask, so what if they don't want to come with us? Are we prepared to kidnap?
No, we're not going to kidnap a child. We'll have to figure out a way to reason with them.
Woo. This word was all.
Okay, so Theron will stride up to the door and give it a nice knock.
Okay.
And take a couple steps back and wait to see who opens.
What you see is a red-headed woman in her early 20s and tears streaming down her face and with some sort of handkerchief crying. And she opens the door and sees you and says, "Marco, have you found my Marco?"
Theron immediately disavows the cloth and asks her out for a date.
You are the second person that
No,
does
I'm
that. The second character that has done this. But she seems very focused on finding her child and not on dating.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. She is a human. The picture I found makes her look kind of elfy, but she's a human. She goes, "I talked to the constable this morning. Are you here to help me? Are you here to help me find my Marco? He's the only thing I have left. My sweet baby boy."
Theron's eyes will bounce from the woman to behind her to kind of catch a glimpse behind her, and at the same time say, "That is exactly why we're here. We are here to help you find your son."
"Oh, thank the gods. Come in. And she'll lead you in. It's a very small, it's basically kind of like a small bungalow. There's like a parlor, living room, a kitchen, and what you guess is 2 bedrooms towards the back. It's very simple, modest accommodations. And she says, "Please sit down. Did the constable lead you here? I found him missing this morning."
Theron will obviously nod to his 2 compatriots to follow them all in, and as they enter and she asks them to take a seat, he'll reach out to console the woman by, reaching for her hand and again taking a knee, and says, "Please, milady, tell us everything you can to help us in our ability to find your son."
And Davian will kind of wander around the cottage looking for any sort of clues leading to where, if anything happened, if there was a struggle, if there was a break-in, any kind of thing like that.
Okay, I'm going to do the RP first, then I'll come back to your roles.
Great.
Okay, so you'll go, I told the constable everything, but I put him to bed last night at his normal time. Then I went to bed around, I don't know, 10 p.m. or so. I didn't hear anything all night, and then when I woke up this morning, he was just gone out of his crib. I don't know what happened to him. He's special, you know? Not only for his special magic, but he's the only reminder I have of my husband Micah. My husband Micah was killed in the Moander incident, saving my life, and I was pregnant with Marco. So please save my baby.
We will do everything in our power to find your baby Marco, ma'am. Can you tell me, do you live in the house with anyone else, or is it just you and your son?
It's just me and my son. I don't have. I know the constable asked this, but I haven't been with the courting with anyone. The wounds are still too fresh between the loss of Micah and I. So it's just been the local townspeople coming to see him. I don't think and the odd merchant. I don't remember any strange characters or anything else.
No one from out of town?
Just the odd merchant passing through, the odd logger. We're a small town, pretty much only the odd peddler and the loggers come to and fro. No one, I would say, from the big city or anyone I would deem suspicious.
Can you tell me who the last person was that came to see your son?
I believe it was one of the loggers. He hurt himself real bad, and he had lost a lot of blood by the time they came into town. They begged me to bring Marco to him, and Marco just hugged him, and his magic worked. The man was weak for a while after, needed a lot of rest, but he didn't bleed to death. Healed his injuries right up. I don't know why he has these powers. Some people say it's a blessing from the gods. Some people say some people are just born with magic. But I don't care. He's my baby.
So your husband had no healing gift?
No, and neither do I.
Who was the last merchant that came through?
Oh, I would say Sylvia, but she's a pretty regular. She buys wood and takes it down to the ports and the other bigger cities. I don't think Sylvia had anything to do with this. I think she's on her way to return anyway. It's been over 2 weeks since she left.
And she comes back here fairly often?
Oh yes, about at least once a month or so.
You said she, what does she do again for her job?
She mainly takes the logs and finished wood products out of the town and to the bigger cities to be sold and the like. She's a big wholesaler. She's actually done a lot for the town, helping rebuild. She even brought in some craftsmen after the Moander incident and food. I don't think it was her.
The logger that Marco had recently healed, did you know what had harmed the logger?
Oh, it was an accident. he was felling some trees or something, trying to get they cut the branches off they climb up and cut the big branches off first, I hear. And he ended up just falling and getting himself cut on his own axe. I don't think it was him either. The headmistress of the logger camp keeps a tight leash on her loggers. Make sure they don't come to town and get drunk and cause trouble.
Well, that's probably a good idea, especially when you're running a business like that. What's her name?
Her name is Flippin' Through the Adventure. Melinda Hillfort. She's the foreman of the logging camp. She's a very nice person.
Most people are very nice until they're not.
And she'll cry some more.
Never fear, ma'am. We're here to find Marco, and that's what we'll do. Do you work outside the home, or do you primarily stay at home and work?
I do. I mostly stay inside. I till a little farm. She'll point outside, and there is a bit of a small farm out there. You know, I also sew and mend and washing and a couple other little things to help bring in some extra money for Marco and I. Thankfully, the townspeople are always generous when Marco heals someone. I've been getting a decent amount of support considering.
Theron will look to Zan and Davion and then back to her and say, we may be back to ask you some more questions, but perhaps now is a good time to go out and explore the town a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Please investigate my home. Tear it up top to bottom. Just find my boy.
Do you two have any other questions for her?
Zan would like to tell Theron something, but he's not going to tell it in front of Marco's mum.
I'll leave you to your work.
Has Marco ever disappeared before?
No, never. He's only a toddler. He's about 2 years old. He's up to knee-high, and he has bright, flaming red hair. Most people in the town think he's a gift to us. So I don't think anyone local would have taken him. Although, now that I think about it, there's been a few robberies in the lumber yard that Melinda was looking into, but other than that, there's been no any real crime or anything in town.
Ma'am, we've taken up enough of your time. We may come back and have some more questions for you, but I think right now we just need to go out and get a better lay of the land.
Absolutely, absolutely. Here, and she'll point to her son's room, her room, give you a very brief tour of the house.
While we're going through the house, do we see anything in the child's room, open window?
You were the one who wanted to do all the rolling? Or to investigate, sorry, correct?
I believe that was one of the other guys that said that.
Alright, because I would, or you can both, if you are trained in a skill in 5e, you can assist each other in a roll, and then one person will roll it with advantage, which means roll 2 and take the highest die.
So I'm trained in investigation.
Okay, is anyone else trained in investigation?
No, I just have insight and perception.
Okay, sorry. Just double checking some things. Roll me an investigation check in Marco's room.
All of us?
No, Zan's going to just be looking around, but he's
Sure,
not
all of you. Why not? Alright, Davian. With your investigation, you start looking over the room, and you're a fairly typical, very young child's room. There's toys strewn all over the floor. There's like a crib, cradle, bed, some clothes lying around. You check the window, and while the window itself is not broken, you can tell that it looks like someone used a thin blade to slide the lock over and open the window that way without leaving any very obvious marks of someone breaking in. So you get the sense that someone came in through the window, picked up a sleeping toddler, and then also left outside the window. Do any of you... Go ahead, sorry.
I guess we can look outside for footprints or something.
Absolutely. Who wants to roll me an investigation or a survival check? I'll leave it up to you to decide.
Somebody else should probably roll investigation.
On it.
There we go.
Oh! An unnat 20. And with that, you find a number of signs of a number of humanoids leading up to Marco's window and then going away. You can see that the grass is matted down. And you find a half-booted footprint in a low spot in the ground that was still a little bit moist from recent rains. You also find... Oh, sorry. You also find... Go ahead.
So either people in this town are afraid to use front doors, or there was a whole gang to kidnap this baby.
You're getting the sense. You also find claw marks on the underside of the windowsill to Marco's room. So you're finding like boot prints and claw marks.
And I'm assuming Davion is going to communicate all that to us.
I kind of always assume that.
We should ask around and see if there's any camps of unsavory humanoids in the area. Goblins, kobolds, gnolls, that sort of thing. I saw some claw marks.
Excellent. And also because you got an unnatural 20, that's still a very high roll. You start sort of almost like, you know how Aragorn in Lord of the Rings follows the Hobbit tracks. You start doing that, and you realize these tracks lead into the woods, and you can pick up on the trail.
Well, I found some tracks. Shall we follow them?
Did you say the baby was taken the night before we got there?
Some people are getting a little crackly. What's up?
You're okay?
Theron, you're a bit crackly with your mic. Or at least on my end, you sound kind of crackly. I can't really hear you.
You guys understand?
You are very much like a robot right now. Can you hear me well?
It's like kind of popping in and out.
Yeah. I don't think it's anything on our end. I will check.
Well, that came
sounds
out
better
clear.
now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
There we go. Just a little hiccup in the matrix, in the tubes of the internet. So continue. Sorry. You were saying something?
I forgot.
So I suggested that we go into the woods and find whatever camp of humanoids came through here. And then I think
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I had asked, was it the night before we arrived that the baby was taken?
Yeah, it was the previous night. So he hasn't been gone no more than... I say you came to her place around just before noon. So he hasn't been gone a full day yet.
and the townspeople don't seem to know it yet. So maybe we should keep that hush.
Yeah, you get the sense that the constable is... Because the constable came to her place, but on your way there, none of the townspeople had heard just yet. But the constable knows. The constable may be keeping this kind of hush-hush.
Should we go to the local authorities with this information?
Up to you.
Zan would like to kind of mention to the other two that it may be wise to arrange to start to arrange this boy and his mother's passage to our patron Eliza before we rescue the child.
You're supposed to be the ones bringing her in the cart. And Marco as well, to her. So you're arranging the passage.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking maybe we should get her to agreement to do it before we rescue her child.
Up to you.
Like baby extortion?
No, not baby extortion. Not baby extortion. Just suggesting this may be a course of action to, or maybe we can do that. It's probably fine when we get the child back, if we get the child back.
Up to you. You can talk to her about it now. You can immediately go and you can just follow the trail to the child. Whatever you want.
I think that she feels very comfortable living here and trusts everybody in the community. So at this moment, it would probably be more difficult to get her to leave the community that she trusts. Maybe after we find the child and we can figure out what the danger is, we can then use the danger as the leverage to get her to move.
Sounds good.
And speaking of danger, we're not entirely sure the baby is safe wherever it is.
Pretty sure it's not safe.
Yeah.
With that, we've been playing for an hour. This is about a 2-hour module. Let's take a quick break, run to the 5-minute break, run to the bathroom, grab a drink, etc. And we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
See you in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Back.
I'm
I'm back.
Is everyone back? I heard 2 people.
Yep. Sorry. 3.
Oh, it's okay. Alright, we'll start up back up again in about 1 minute.
Fun module so far.
I really like it. It's just really flexible. You have RP, you have investigation, and you'll get to the combat quick enough.
Yeah, it's fun to have a good mix.
Yeah, it's really balanced. Okie dokies. Alright, I'm gonna put this one away. So I'm assuming you're sort of following the path.
That's right.
Okay, you begin to follow the path. Everyone, make me either a... Okay, you follow the path. You notice that there are signs of stepped on grass, broken twigs, and other disturbances of local flora. Does everyone want to give me a survival check? Okay, Zan, with your 12 survival, you find a snare trap that was, and so do you, Davian, a snare trap that went off and was then cut. Does anyone want to roll an investigation to check out the snare trap?
Yep, it's a snare trap.
And with that, Sean, you have set many a snare trap in your day, and you are also very familiar with scavenging for food, let's say. You can tell that this rope was cut by an edged weapon, while something as heavy as a human was hanging off of it. You also find a very nice dagger with a dragon hilt where the snare was set, with very strange markings. Is anyone here proficient in religion? Theron, you're the paladin, correct?
I am.
Do you want to give me a religion check to investigate these strange markings on this dagger? And with that, you realize that this is a religious item used in rites to Kurt Ptolemach, the patron deity and creator of kobolds, who taught them to thieve and pillage. It is it is said that Kurt Ptolemach stole the gift of sorcery from a dragon and gave it magic to all the kobolds. You remember this from your paladin training.
Right.
So,
So I share that with the guys. This is not good. We need to hurry.
okay, and with that, you guys start hustling, following the path, and you come to the lumber camp. Do you guys stealth in your approach, or are you coming openly to the lumber camp?
Zan will stealth. Zan is never sure of how people will treat him, so he's fairly well always trying to stealth a little bit.
Okay, give me a stealth roll. You are okay stealthy. You're kind of hiding behind a tree, but if you move from this tree, you'll probably get caught. So as long as you, like, really don't move and stay really still, you think you might be okay. Davian, Theron?
What time of day is it again?
I'm going to say it's 2 o'clock. You've been out here for about a good 2 hours?
Yeah, we can just walk in. People are
Yeah.
probably working, but they won't mind us.
Yeah, Theron will just walk in.
Alright, with that. The sounds of sawing and wood being dragged echo in the woods as you come upon the lumber camp of Elmwood. There are piles of lumber, saws, and people moving all about working on various tasks. One of them stops as they notice you. Foreman! We have visitors! A female Hilldorf with a brown braided beard, a leather apron over a pair of leather pants, and metal spiked leather boots approaches your group. How can I help you? This is Melinda Hillfort. You looking to buy me wood?
We'd definitely like to take a look at your wood in a moment. I did have a question for you. Are you missing any of your workers?
Nah. Why? Has someone been trouble in town?
No, no trouble. Just wanted to make sure you had everybody here doing their jobs.
You're asking a lot of questions.
Ask her about kobold.
We are new to town and just kind of getting the lay of the land. We've heard that there may be some kobold trouble in the area. Have you seen anything like that?
Well, I don't know about kobold trouble, but someone's been stealing me supplies. It's been weird too, little bits and bobs of things. Like a couple bits of wood, some nails, a hammer. Normally when thieves steal, they go in big and try and get out. This is bare handfuls of stuff. Couldn't find who did it. I set guards. Couldn't find anything. You were saying kobolds?
We were following a trail of them, and it led us here.
Bloody bastards. Maybe them been stealing me wood.
It's very likely.
Well, you're welcome. If you're on the path of the kobolds, you're welcome to take a look around me camp. Do whatever you need.
Does the path end at the camp, or do we still have eyesight on that?
You get the sense that it cuts through the camp and into the woods on the other side. So it's up to you. Do you investigate, the lumber camp?
Yeah, we asked her, do you mind showing us some of the locations where things were stolen? We'd like to just take a look around.
Sure. There's not much. Here's me wood pile. Here's me plank pile. There's the shed where I keep the nails. Yes.
Pile.
Exactly. We're not that fancy here. It's pretty much what it looks like. Some tents over there for me men. The privy.
There, and I think we should get a move on.
Yeah. Sorry to trouble you. We'll continue on our way. But if you hear of any kobolds, feel free to let the constable back in town know.
Oh, the constable don't need to know. Old Matilda will get them. But please, you're welcome to look in me camp.
We'll take just a moment to look at one of the areas that she indicated things were stolen from, just to see if we can find any other evidence of kobolds, to make sure it is actually kobolds.
Okay, roll me an investigation.
Davion, you're our investigator, right? Not today.
Let's see. There's a wood pile and a saw pile and
Zan, do you see anything?
You might as well roll.
anything behind that tree over there.
Oh! Zan, you've been around a lot. You've been when you were with the circus. You were in very similar camps like this, so you're able to discern just like normal camp behavior, people milling about versus other disturbances. And you hone in on this pile of wood, and you pick out this coin-sized bit of scaled skin that appeared to just scrape off on one of the planks of wood. And it is black and green colored scaled skin and a tiny bit of blood. You're pretty sure this means kobolds.
Well, I pointed out to everyone else. I bring everyone else over.
Including Melinda, or just the three of you?
Yeah, I want to show Melinda. I would like to show Melinda.
Ah! Them bloody bastards! Been taking me wood! You go off and kill them, eh? Sorry, I have terrible accents, but I am trying my best. They kind of...
No, they sound good.
Okay, they kind of flip between like Scottish, Irish, Welsh, English, or whatever.
Ah, it's a dwarven accent. With that.
If you'll deal with them, I'll buy you a pint back at the pub. Been a thorn in me side this whole time.
A pint sounds good. We are not going to waste any more of your time because it's clear that you're very busy. We'll let you know what we find. With that, we're going to move on.
All right, happy hunting. And she'll grumble in Dwarvish under her breath about the wee bastards and her wood. Dwarven woman can't make a living out here. People be stealing her wood. And you see that the trail picks up on the other side of this logging camp. You follow the trail, you notice various disturbances. Make me a survival trek. Because you notice as you get deeper and deeper into woods, it becomes more wild. And a bit harder to discern the trail. Decent rolls, everyone. Theron, with your 16, you notice long drag marks in the dirt here and there, and some tall grass that was cut here and there. It's kind of odd. You also notice larger boot footprints, larger than what a kobold would do, as you walk along the path. You think there's about 5 different humanoids. So that would be like human, elf, half-elf, something like that. Not kobolds, per se.
So I will convey that to the other guys and let them know. It looks like we may have somebody working with kobolds here.
If anybody wants to give me an investigation check of the boot prints.
Let's see what I.
Roll, 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 roll. Davian!
Big roller.
Definitely tonight. And Theron, you both notice, just from, like, investigating the path and the boot prints, you realize they're off. You believe that the human boot prints and whatever was dragging these pieces of wood, you suspect, weren't together at the same time. You think these are like 2 separate journeys along the same path.
Do we see any toddler prints?
No, but you're getting the sense that if the toddler was with the humans, the humanoid footprints, they probably would have carried the toddler. Toddlers are kind of slow. If they were with the toddler is with the kobolds, the dragging of the plank would have obscured his footprints. So you can't know for certain whether Marco's with the humans or Marco's with the kobolds.
Okay, we'll keep on.
All
At a
right.
quickened pace.
Really quickly, what is everyone's passive perception? It is.
Where do we find that at?
Your passive perception is.
It should be in the middle of your character sheet, underneath race, above AC.
Oh, okay.
It's also your perception skill plus 10.
Does anyone get above a 15?
No.
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 Alright, never mind then. What is your marching order?
I would imagine I'm in the front, Theron's in the front, followed by Zan and then Davion.
Or am I in front because I'm the investigator?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine too. I was thinking armor up front, but that's fine.
Whoever's up front, make me a dexterity saving throw.
I'll go and do it.
Okay.
So here we go. Whoosh. 11.
Oh, you don't make it. Oh, wait.
Darn.
Actually, wait. You rolled that with advantage, so give me another roll. My bad. And with that,
That's a little better. 13.
Oh, a 13? You still don't make it! Sorry.
That was weird. Did the dice say 15?
I thought the dice said 15 as well, but it came up at 12.
Yeah,
That's why I was like, oh, you just barely make it, and I'm like, wait a minute, 13? Yeah, I also
Yeah,
saw
look
that
at 15.
too. Yeah. Sometimes the animation doesn't always match up with what's posted, but...
Gotcha.
Or maybe we
Well,
were
I
just...
appreciate it, everyone, but
You're just so focused on these tracks, you neglect to see another snare trap. And, you flail and you are ripped off your feet and, just like, it's one of those ones where one leg gets tied up and you're in the air hanging upside down. No?
Help me!
You have, 1 damage.
Ow!
You're just mostly embarrassed. Do any of you,
Theron will draw his sword just because of the shock of the sudden attack and look around to see if there's anything else moving before he moves towards Davion.
Alright, roll me a perception, see if there's anyone else.
Is that just a 20-sided die?
It's your perception check. So 20-sided die plus whatever your perception is. And your perception is a 0?
Perception's 12. I don't know how to roll perception.
Oh, what you do is you open up your character sheet.
Yep.
And then under skills, you star whatever you chose to do.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
And
I was
then
still
you
thinking
hit the
past.
+2. So you have a +2, so that's a 15. Which is pretty good. You look around and listen to the forest, see if there's any vibration underneath you, listen for sounds. Nothing. You get that this is just a trap set to prevent anyone coming this direction from, this is just a general trap, like, on the edge of their territory. That's what you're getting the sense of.
Gotcha. I walk over towards Davion. What race are you?
Human.
How much do you weigh?
Somewhere around 150. I'm a slight boy, but I did lots of farm work, so
You thick.
pretty.
Wiry type of guy.
What's that?
No, what's called wiry, where you're not like bulky, but you're still kind of tough and strong.
Yeah.
It's like
Also,
yeah, you're like kind of tough, but not like. Whoa.
and then those years living in the forest kind of made me more so.
Okay, Theron will look over to Zan. Do you want to cut the rope and I'll try to catch you?
Zan nods and pulls out a dagger, and waits for Theron to try and catch Davion, and cuts the rope.
Okay. Are you cutting the rope?
Yes.
Alright, so whoever's catching, make me a dexterity saving throw to see if you catch. Trust fall.
Thanks, Theron.
You catch him!
Just doing my duty.
It's almost like a lovely maid and big hero out of like a bodice ripper romance novel. It's just like that perfect, but you're like, we're just friends. Or maybe
Yeah.
not.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'll try not to get caught again.
Yeah, Theron will lower him back to the ground and kind of keep your eyes on the ground, lad.
I pointedly avoid eye contact.
And we move on.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can look around the trapped area to see if we see anything.
You don't really see anything.
Davion, do you want to continue up front? I'm fine if you do. I just wanted to check before we kept moving.
Yes, I'll keep on the trail. I'll just be more careful this time.
Tally ho.
And with that, the rest of your trip is rather uneventful. You follow the path and come upon this weird burrow. You've been following the trail. Let me point my voice towards the microphone this time. You've been following the trail through the forest for several hours when it leads you to a geological depression. It is a circular plateau about 50 feet across, 30 feet down. At the end you stand at lowers smoothly to where it bottoms out, but the other end is bordered by cliffs. Massive trees, large roots, thorny bushes, and rocks litter the ground. As you approach, a cold drizzle starts to fall while the sun is about to set down the horizon. At the entrance to the cave is the burnt body of a woman. Alright, now I will share the map. And I will add your tokens, 1 sec. There you are. I'm going to assume you're a little further back than what you are here. It's just the map.
I can't see the map quite yet.
Yeah, still loading.
Ooh, Ooh, okay.
I saw the tokens, though.
Yay! My husband drew the map for me.
Oh,
It's
cool.
actually really nice. Let me know when you all have loaded. I hope the file isn't too big.
I see like the top edge, I think, of the map, but the rest of it's grayed out.
Scroll all the way down the map. You're in like the bottom right corner.
Oh, I had to readjust it horizontally, and I see it now.
Oh, okay. Can everyone else see it okay?
It's still loading for Zan.
If you right-click on it and click resize, and then click horizontal, that may help.
Yeah, I've got a little portion where the tokens are, but not the whole map yet. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, it's just masked. That's fine.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah, I've got it too.
Sorry, it is in the lower right corner. I was beginning to get a little worried because a couple maps my husband's done have been really beautiful, but a little too big, so we have to chop them up a little.
Well, what we can see so far looks really good.
Excellent. Okay, what do you do? There's the burnt body of a woman at this cave mouth, and you see a cave. I'm going to say you guys are starting a little further from the cave than the map allows, but that's what you see.
Pretty spooky.
Okay, as we get close to the cave mouth, Theron will hold up his fist, indicating for everyone to stop and be silent. And then he will move towards the left, like where his token is now, and then motion to Zan to move to the right side of the mouth.
Zan follows his motion and tries to be as stealthy as he can as he does this.
Okay, roll me a stealth roll. You're fairly stealthy. You arrive at the mouth of this cave. Now, you, Zan, being a drow, would be able to see into this cave rather easily because you have dark vision. We have two humans with. We have half elf and a human with us. So, as a human, you will not be able to see into this cave because there is no light source. And as a half elf, you be able to use your dark vision to see a little bit into this cave, but Zan, as a drow, is able to, because they have advanced dark vision, is able to see into this cave almost as well as daylight, I believe. This is how the rules work. So, because you have both a drow and a half-elf in your party, I'm going to say you can see a little bit further into the cave than what I have.
Okay. Where is the body of the woman on the map?
I'm going to say she's near you, Theron. But a quick inspection reveals that, the body's very badly burnt, so you can't tell exactly who this would belong to if you ever cared to identify the person. But you do see an emblem on her armor that is of the Scarlet Fangs, a notorious thieves guild in the area. And you can also tell that her death was quite recent. There is still some she's still a little fresh. Not much, but a little.
Okay, so as Theron crouches down, he'll, obviously first check for a pulse, and obviously she's dead.
Very obviously.
Yeah. So from there, he'll kind of glance down at the body and see if he can tell what kind of burns may have, if burns actually killed her, and if they did, or if he has any indication if they were magic or natural fire.
Sure. If you want to know the difference between natural and some sort of arcane or alchemical fire, roll me an Arcana check.
Davian is staying
Oh.
back. Gets out his arcane focus and is ready for anything.
Okay, Theron, I'm going to say with the 15, you can tell this wasn't natural fire, that this is definitely some sort of magical or alchemical fire. And with the width of her body, 15's pretty high. With the width of her body, you can tell that this is some sort of alchemical fire. You get the sense, you get that acrid chemical smell coming off her body.
Okay. So Theron will unsling his shield and pull a javelin as he edges up to the cliff mouth, and then he'll motion to Zan, just the two fingers to his eyes, and then pointing deeper into the cave, indicating for him to take a deeper look since he can see so well.
Okay. And before we continue, we have 2 level 1s and a level 3, correct?
Level 1.
Okay, just want to double check.
Yeah, level 1 as well.
Okay, 1 second.
And so I let Theron and Zan know through my awakened mind ability that I can communicate telepathically with you guys if I can see you within 30 feet of you.
Really?
Yeah, warlocks are weird.
Oh, right. I never take that ability at early on.
Okay, well, if that's the case, once Theron hears that in his mind, he'll tell Davion once Zan moves forward for him to come up and take his place.
I also have this minor magical spell that I can use to make a flash of light or a sound or an odor further off.
Cool, it'll come in handy.
Alright, so let's roll initiative. I will roll it for everyone.
Ah, kobolds.
You can just barely see them peeking out of this little what would you call them, honey?
Barricade.
Barricade, that's it.
Did you say you're rolling initiative for us?
Yes. And with that, Jan is first.
Okay, Zan would like to. Can I assume that I had my my scimitars drawn?
Yeah, I'm going to assume that you were coming into a combat situation.
All right. He's going to advance up to this this kobold here.
Okay.
Swing some swords at him.
You do so. Ooh, that's a hit! Roll damage.
Okay.
Roll damage.
Before I do that, I'm going to do a kind of I bring the sword around and kind of do a pirouette on the spot.
Ooh. Cool. Nice. And with that, you lop off this kobold's head.
Instant death.
Poor little guy.
So I have moved that far. I also get another 10 feet of movement when I attack something. So can I make it where he was and attack the other one?
You may be able to. The barricades stand about 3 feet high. Give me an athletics check to see if you go over the barrier. Or you can go around this pit trap that is open. It's up to you.
I might go. Oh no, he would try and he's going to try and jump over the barrier.
All right, athletics check. You are able to make it over the barrier, so you are in the space where he once was.
Nice.
All right, I would like to take another swing at the other kobold.
Go right ahead. Hit! And you also lop off that one's head with this beautiful ballet, almost mesmerizing dance flourish.
Davy and his
wrecking machine.
very, very impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen Zan in battle before. Seeing all the carefully practiced movements from his morning routine come into effect is that, and his bravery of just diving in there.
Writing a poem in my head already. Okay, Theron's turn. He is going to move up to that rock.
Okay.
And try to use that rock outcropping as a as defense, and toss his javelin at this other kobold that we see.
Okay, you may do so.
Ha!
And you miss. It goes right over the kobold's head, and he laughs at you.
Okay.
Does anyone here speak Draconic?
I do not.
Okay.
No, I don't.
As my bonus action, or whatever you want to call it, I'll communicate to Davion to get some fire on this kobold up here near us.
Okay.
So now I approach,
Okay.
make it up to about there.
Oh yeah, it's Davion next. Yep.
Yep. These kobolds don't stand a chance.
That's what we're hoping for.
So I don't quite know what fire Baron is referring to, but I can release an eldritch blast upon this kobold.
Whatever will kill him.
I guess it's still dark.
Yes, it is. You are human.
Oh, that's right.
Unless you cast a light spell, you can't. No offense, but you can't see shit.
Yeah. And I see I don't even have any torches.
Do you have the
Didn't you
light
say
cantrip?
you had a that cantrip you were talking about?
No, I have prestidigitation, which I can use to light a torch. Is the barricade made of wood?
Yes, it is. In fact, you think oh, this is where all the wood they stole was going to.
Okay, so I take a point of the wood that's further away from Zan,
Okay.
and use my prestidigitation to light a bit of that on fire.
Alright, so I'm going to say you can just barely see the kobold inventor in front of you.
Great. And so I'm a little new to the action economy. So the prestidigitation was one action.
Oh, yeah, that is an action. Do you have any bonus actions?
I don't really know what that means. Sorry.
Oh, a bonus. There are certain spells and abilities. Basically, the action economy in 5e goes like this: there's your action, which is like swinging your sword or casting most spells.
Yeah. So my Eldritch Blast spell
Is not a bonus action. So your prestidigitation spell took up your action. There are some spells that do go off as a bonus action, like Healing Word and a few others. It's mostly Healing Word. I think you are done unless you want to move some more.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Let's see what Kobold Inventor 1 is going to do. It's really scared of you, Zan, because it just saw you lop off the head of 2 of its friends. So it's going to attack you with Alchemist Fire. It's going to miss, but he is going to begin to retreat back towards what you could use, Zan can see, this other barricade. And it begins to disappear into the further darkness of the cave, and you can hear more voices talking amongst each other, but if you don't speak Draconic, you don't understand it. Zan, it's your turn.
Zan is going to go as far as he can towards that other, where the kobold left from.
Alright, so you have about 30 feet of movement. Move where you are, and I will reveal T. Or go at least 10, or you know what? This is what I'll do. Because you're going to be moving forward roughly in the same direction. You can see at least this.
Okay. Yeah, Zan is going to mindlessly almost. He's not that smart, and he's just going to charge.
Okay.
And Theron will try to call out over the fray. Be careful, we don't know what we're running into.
I think we've lost the element of surprise when I started lighting things on fire.
And once you start getting closer, you can see all of this.
Okay. And he's going to swing his scimitar again at this Inventor 1.
Alright. And you miss.
And he's going to try with the other one.
Okay. And you hit! Roll damage.
He is going to, again, he's spun around, and he's going to do the same flourish that he did last time.
Okay.
Can you, sorry, do me a favor? Can you remove that AC4? How I'm doing this is I get the armor class bonus from the extra damage that I did.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm just putting it on as the second dice.
So Blade Flourish, Defensive Flourish, AC 4.
So yeah, so that should be AC6 now because I rolled so the second dice was a 6.
Oh, okay. So you don't want me to remove it? You want to change the AC to a 6?
Either way, yeah, either way.
I will change it to a 6.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey.
And with that, this other kobold is going to attack Zan. Because you are a big, scary monster who has decided to invade its home.
It's almost like we're the bad guys.
Almost.
Wait, no. They kidnapped the baby. They're the bad guys.
1 sec. Alright, that was a hit. Pack Tactics. You get 5 points of damage, son. Kobold 2. Gonna attack Zan. Another hit! And you hear more very confused noises coming from deeper inside the cave and echoing towards you. But you don't understand what they mean. Another hit!
Oh boy.
Pack Tactics. Theron!
Okay, so Theron sees his friend in trouble. So he is going to run, sling his shield, and pull his sword.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me check out that measurement.
Oh, but before you do that,
Okay.
you are going to need to give me a... You came upon a trap. 1 second.
Bummer.
First, give me a perception check. Oh wait, you weren't actively looking, were you?
Actively looking for traps? No.
Who does that?
Only rogues. So, I'm going to say you fall into the trap before you have a chance to hit our dear friend. So that was 9 less damage. Sorry, because this one's hidden, I had to check the map in the back. Okay, so move back 1 square. This trap is 10 feet deep, and with some minor spikes in the bottom. And you gain 3 damage. You immediately go like, huh, I gotta save my friend. And now you're at the bottom of a pit. Davian! You can kind of see one of your friends go into a pit, and the other is gracefully killing off your enemies.
And getting wailed on by kobolds.
Yes, what do you do?
So I go around this pit, and then by the dim torchlight, lob an eldritch, blah, blah, blah. I blast one of the kobolds.
Alright. Roll me, roll it.
Let's see, so can I see this kobold inventor one, or is that just totally behind the rock?
I'm going to say you at least see Kobold Inventor 1.
I can target kobold 2 if you'd prefer.
Nah, I'm going to say you can see Inventor. Inventor's technically closer to you.
My beam of crackling energy streaks towards, but entirely misses kobold inventor 1.
I'm sorry. Do you have the 2 yet? Oh wait, you're level 1. Yeah, you wouldn't have the 2. It misses and goes into that trash heap, and you just get this even more acrid, stinky smell off the trash heap.
Sorry, guys.
Nah, you did what you could.
I have been asked by the creator of this module to skunk you, Zan, and thus that is what I will do. Constitution save, and you are able to save against the skunk. The skunk in a cage being rubbed in your face almost. Kobold Inventor 2 comes out and sees Zan, and let me see. What haven't we done just yet? Oh, green slime pot. There we go. Oh wait, that was with advantage. Still misses. You see this pot come out into the air and splat across that stone pillar next to you, and just kind of drip this weird elixir, but you pay it no mind. Zan!
Okay, Zan is still going to try and swing his blade at this Kobold Inventor 1.
Okay, give me a roll. Oh, that's a hit.
I don't know why I got advantage there. I didn't have any buttons pressed.
Odd.
You know why I would have had advantage?
It dropped an 11, and 11 plus 15, I believe, would have still hit. 1 sec. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you had it.
It's 11 plus 5. It would have been 16. Yeah, I didn't have any buttons pushed down.
It still would have hit, so you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
I'll do the same thing again. I'll do my last defensive flourish.
Ooh, and your blades come down heavy upon the Kobold Inventor. You're pissed that it tried to rub a skunk in your face. And you just slash down, and he looks really deeply beaten, but not dead just yet.
I'll do it again. Or at least try to.
You hit! And with that, he is dying. He unleashes some sort of strange howl almost into the cave that echoes. And you hear the other kobolds in this cave echo back towards it. But you don't know what it says.
I'm going to try and come around. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm trying to go around the back of this cavern to help Theron out of the pit. But I want to go that way first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Just make your movement. You have 30 feet of movement.
Yeah, and I get plus 10 feet because of the Blade Singer
Okay.
thing that I am.
Sure.
So I'm going to try and get up to him. I just want to check before I move. Are you happy that I can get all the way around to him? And
Sure. Yeah.
all right, I'd like to be there. That's all right, and I'll get ready next time to help him out of the pit.
Okay. And with that, Kobold 1 can't really see you and is 5, 10. This one's going to be brave and come over here and peer around the pit trap and attack you, Zen.
Sorry, hang on. Before you do,
Yeah?
that AC 6 should only be AC 3 this turn.
Okay. Thank you for being honest.
No problem.
And he misses. But then withdraws back 5, 10. Behind the barricade. Kobold 2, 5, 10, 15, 20. Going to do the same thing. Misses and is going to retreat 10. Kobold 3. Doing the same thing. Misses. I've been rolling a bunch of 3s. Then retreats.
That's okay.
Let's keep doing that.
Baron, you're at the bottom of a pit.
So Theron unslings, or he already had his shield out. So Theron drops his shield onto the spikes, steps onto the shield, and jumps up to grab the lip of the edge there and pull himself up.
Okay, give me an athletics check to see if you get that high. Does he make it? You know what, with a 17, and you're willing to leave your shield at the bottom, I'm gonna say, yeah, you just barely make it. You are just barely clinging on to the side of this pit. You go like, ow. And I'm gonna say it's gonna take the rest of your turn, but Zan is going to be able to help you up.
Okay.
Davian!
Okie dokie. Let's sneak on over back here. And over Theron, climbing out of that pit, gonna lob another Eldritch Blast.
Roll it!
Kobold 3.
Hits! And he is dying.
Nice.
You just see him crumple into this crisp and collapse. And with just a brief, some language comes out of his mouth that you do not understand. Because you do not speak Draconic. Yeah, that would be the end of your turn. Kobold Inventor 2 is going to go around here and hold his action. Zen!
Zan would just try and like to help Theron out of this pit.
Alright, Theron, you are out of the pit.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem.
Pleasure.
Kobold 1 is going to actually try and attack Theron this time.
Sorry, DM, remove that. You can remove that blade flourish as well now. I've run out of
Okay. Miss.
Kobold 2 is going to try and attack Theron. Miss. And you hear all these almost like barking coming from deeper and deeper, echoing throughout the cave. Theron, you've gotten out of the pit. What would you like to do?
It seems like we have stirred up a hornet's nest. Theron is going to. So we have 2 kobolds still here, so he's going to rush around the trap with his 2-handed sword and try to take out one of these kobolds.
Okay. So you need to jump over that, but that's less than 5 feet, and you're strong enough to do that. Yeah, you can do that as part of your movement, and give me a roll.
Of course.
And you miss. You're just so physically exhausted.
I really am.
I mean, that took a lot out of you. I mean, you got a little bit of a scratch in the bum. It hurts.
I got heavy armor on. I mean, it takes a lot.
Mm-hmm. You get a lot of bruises. Davian.
So let's go back around that rock, playing peekaboo with the kobolds.
Okay.
And kobold number 1 looks like it could use an Eldritch Blast.
Roll it. Hits.
Pew pew.
Ooh, and it's singed. Kobold Inventor 2 is going to come out here and attack Theron. What is it going to do now? What is it going to do now? What it does is, it is going to throw a clay pot at you, Theron. There's no save for this, but all of a sudden you are covered in rock grubs. And you're just itchy and distracted.
Okay.
One sec, let me double check something. Yeah, so this space is a hazard, so it takes like, I think it's considered difficult terrain. So that is the end of his turn. Zan!
Zan would like to make his way back around. I think I counted it. I can get to about there.
Okay.
Around the bottom of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And would like to cast Fairy Fire.
Ooh, do so.
Sorry, I got to remember which button does the. Do you remember which button does the square?
Oh, I think it's drawing. Oh, it's pointers. Right-click pointers. Draw square.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think is it 10 foot? Hang on.
I think it might actually be 20 feet. I can't remember.
I'll look up very quickly. I've got it here. Hang on. Sorry, guys.
Not a problem. Continue.
That's 20 feet, yeah.
Awesome. Well, then make it a little wee bit bigger, and I think you can catch all these kobolds.
Okay.
Nice.
They all succeeded.
Oh, wait, what?
They all succeeded, I think.
Well, I think one... What is your... Your DC is only 10?
Yeah. Because that's not my main casting ability. It's my drow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they all succeed, so... No fairy fire. Though it's an excellent spell. When I play a caster and I have fairy fire, all mine become Barbie pink. Alright, so if you want to delete, you can delete the box there. And with that, Kobold 1 is going to take out a knife and try and stab Theron. With advantage! Oh wait, no. The other kobold isn't quite within 5 feet, so no advantage. Misses. However, this other kobold is going to go within 5 feet, appropriately, and is going to have advantage. And that is also going to miss. Theron, you have 2 tasty kobolds right in front of you.
Okay, he will continue to attack the one that he missed the first time.
Roll it. Hits! And it's dead. Boom. Davian!
Okay, well, I have a debt to Theron for getting me down from that snare trap. So let's see if I can take out this kobold.
Well, I appreciate it.
Hits! Heavy damage.
Whittle it down eventually.
A little at a time.
Okay, so with this, Theron is getting hit in the face with a wee bit of Alchemist Fire at advantage.
Is the advantage because of the grubs or something?
No, it's advantage because of pack tactics, and I accidentally hit the button twice. So you miss. But with that, all of a sudden you hear a voice speak with common from beyond what you can see.
Do the color of these kobolds, does that match the scale we found at the wood camp?
Yes, that it does. And
Well, that's good.
And with that, you can see an older kobold female, a matriarch, come out of the mist.
What did you say she said in common?
Enough! Stop this right now! The both of you! Oh, honey. 1 sec, I'm trying to find her image.
I thought she was saying, "Oh, honey," to us.
No, that was to my husband, sorry. Forgot where the button was, but here is the Kobold Matriarch. She comes out of the shadows and before you and says, I am Matron Tonkney. Why do you disturb us? You will not take our god from us like those scarlet fangs. Leave here at once, and we will let you go. Beware the wrath of our god, he who brings people back from the brink of death.
I telepathically ask my friends if they think the baby is their god.
That'd be my guess.
You're getting that impression.
Should we play along and get further in and hopefully get an audience with the god, or should we just kill her and take the baby?
I don't think they would hurt their god, but we need to get to the god and get it out of here. Get to the baby and get it out of here. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, my concern is this is just the tip of the iceberg of kobolds, and we're gonna go down further, and there's gonna be like 1,000 of them. So even if we play along and we end up down there with the baby, we're not gonna reason with a 2-year-old.
But if we have the baby, we can't be killed because it has healing powers.
And they may not attack us because they don't want to hurt their god.
And I would like to remind you that toddlers are very, very squishy. Just an FYI. He may
Yeah, I
have
guess
healing powers, but not a lot of hit points.
we should have asked Marco's mom if the baby's ever been injured.
You don't know. But in general, you know toddlers are very squishy.
I don't need to make a wisdom roll for that.
No, anyone who's been around any toddler will know. Yeah.
You've squished a few
Yeah.
toddlers yourself in your time.
Exactly, who hasn't? So what do you
So,
guys want
guys,
to do?
What are we doing?
Well, we need to get to this baby.
Yeah, so even if we attack and push our way in, we don't have to worry about them killing the baby because they worship it. Which that would be a concern, kill the hostage if you're trying to take the hostage. I don't know. I'm at a loss because with all the barking and noises that we heard earlier, I'm just concerned that we're going to come around that corner and there's going to be a freaking swarm of them.
You can try talking to them.
I can try charming her.
Up to you.
So I'm gonna message Theron and just say, yeah, maybe we should try and reason with this. She speaks common. And
Okay.
Zan puts his swords away. Sheathes both his swords and puts his hands up.
She looks very visibly a little relaxed now. And says, "Good. Have you just come to see our god? He is glorious. He healed one of ours that was caught in the snare trap. Right up! Poor bugger was going to die."
So Theron will also sheathe his sword and and he will tell the this. What did you say she was? Shaman, chieftain,
The matriarch. She
matriarch.
actually introduces herself as Matron Talkney.
Okay. Matron Talkney, we have no intention of harming any more of your people. We fear there was a misunderstanding as we entered your dwelling. We would love to lay eyes on your God and bring appropriate worship.
Ah, most excellent, most excellent. This was bound to happen, you know. The boy is a reincarnation of... Hurriedly looking through the module for the god's name. Kurt Ptolemak. It's why he can heal people and heal people with fire. Yes, I will bring you to him. And she will bring you to this, through the caverns, to this lair. And you can tell that they've tried to clean it up and set it up very nicely. And there's a circle of priests and priestesses around a crying, tantruming toddler. And they're almost like all these priests are trying to decipher the toddler's tantrum as some sort of godly divination or some higher meaning. And Matron Talkie will go, "Oh, let me handle it. Cookie? You want cookie?" And Marco slaps it out of his her hand, crying. And she'll scratch her head and go, "But he wanted cookie earlier." Gods, you know. So you see this ring of kobolds very intently studying this toddler's tantrum. Trying to figure out what its god wants. What do you do?
We don't have an image or anything of the setup, do we?
No, but it's very obvious. It's a toddler surrounded by kobolds. In a cavern.
Do we know how many kobolds?
You've passed dozens on the way in, and there's at least a dozen in here. However, you do get the sense that Matron Talkney is negotiable.
Can I make an insight check into the wants of this toddler?
Into the wants of the toddler? Sure.
Here goes nothing.
The toddler needs a diaper change and just really wants to go home to its mother. It's in a strange, weird place with strange, weird things. And also, you get the sense that he really needs a nap.
I communicate this all to Theron.
Yeah, and I will use Davion's link to ask the rest of the guys, do any of you have healing potions?
I can heal myself. I do have a healing potion, but I also have healing magic.
Did anybody pick up that? Who picked up that dagger? I don't remember which one picked it up.
One of you did. I assume you... Whoever did brings it out.
Which one of you guys has it?
Zan would have picked it up. He found it.
Okay.
Alright, Zan, you whip out the dagger. What do you do?
Are you happy for us to... I'm going to message Theron and say, I'm going to tell them the truth and try and talk them around. Are you happy with me doing that?
Yeah, I don't have any other idea what to do here, so sure.
I pull the dagger out and I say, this boy is not your god. He's a child from the village. They know he's here. They sent us to ask for you to return him. The first step is asking. They will not rest.
And with that, Matron Tonky kind of scratches her head and says, "Well, we were asked by the child's mother, to take the child from its surrogate mother.
Who asked you?
A woman named Z, with a flying cat. Nasty buggers, those flying cats. But she said her name was Z, and she had gone off to do magical She had had a baby, but needed to go off and focus on her magical studies, so she left it with some woman in the village, and the woman refused to give it back. So Z came to us and offered us many shiny coins to take the child and deliver it to her. But upon delivery, one of our warriors fell into a trap, and Marco healed him. So obviously, it means he's the reincarnation of Kultamak. And this is a blessing in disguise. We have no interest in giving this child back to Z. She didn't really seem that interested anyway.
Be it on your own heads. The child's mother and the townsfolk will come looking.
But
They will rest.
But Z is the child's mother, is she not?
No, she's not.
Z lied to us?
Z lied to you.
Ugh. Oh. Doesn't matter.
Z is using
Doesn't
you.
matter. This is obviously the reincarnation of Kultamak. I mean, he heals people and kobolds with a fiery touch. Fire is Kultamak's sign. Can you not see?
Is the baby on fire?
The baby is not on fire, but they were the kobold you beat up but didn't quite kill. Is brought to Marco, and Marco does touch this kobold, and it's almost as if this pure fire engulfs the kobold, but with a flash. All its injuries are gone. And you get the sense this is how Marco heals people. This sort of bright, pure fire is a part of his magic.
Okay, Theron will step forward and say, Matron Mother, clearly you can see that this is a human child. Surely
Yes.
your God would not sully himself by reincarnating into some creature that is lesser than your own people. If truly your God had come back, he would have chosen one of his own pure kobolds to demonstrate his power. Simply because this child has healing powers does not mean that it is a representation of your God. This is a weakly human child who happens to have some magic healing abilities.
She'll sit there and think very thoughtfully for a while, because your argument is very well reasoned. And yes, it did seem very strange that Kultamak would reincarnate into a human. And she'll go with her priest and priestesses and discuss things for a while, and then return to you and say, yes, you're probably right. This probably is not Kultamak. You are right, he is a lowly human. Sure, he has fiery healing abilities, but he would be reincarnated into a kobold like us.
We appreciate your reasoning and are thankful that you see that your God would not lower himself to assume the shape of a human. And if you will give us the child, put the child in our care, we will do this for you. We will not tell the dwarves that your camp is nearby, thus raising an army against you, nor will we tell the human village so that you can live in peace.
That is very wise. For we do not like confrontational battle. We are only here because we were ousted from our former place. Near Ilinver. The humans drove us out with fire and poison. We wish to merely live in the forest peacefully. Can you tell them that? We do not wish to bother them, we just want to live in peace. And we're sorry we borrowed some lumber. But, you know, there's a lot of trees around, and we didn't think we were doing any harm.
I fear that telling the human village or the dwarven wood camp of your existence would only bring death and destruction to you. Trust me, it is safer if you stay near your cave. Don't venture close to the dwarves or the lumber camp again, and try to live in peace in hiding.
You are very wise, sir. You could almost be a kobold. Here, take the child and one of my bracelets as a token of our friendship.
But let us also allow Marco, this wonder healing baby, to heal some of the kobolds that we might have harmed before we came to an understanding.
Absolutely. Marco hugs and heals everyone that he ever came into contact with. In fact, you get the sense that Marco does want to share his healing powers with everyone. That even when he's upset, he wants to help people. Yeah, he's just as cute as a button. And with that, you recover the child and make your way back to Elmwood. Maddie immediately embraces you and the child and tearfully says, "Thank you. Thank you for delivering my baby to me. I don't know how ever to repay you."
Theron will step forward again and just say, it's an honor and our right to bring your son home safely. The only way that you could repay us is by helping us with the same gift that Marco possesses. We represent a very noble woman who is sick and is in need of your son's healing touch, and as payment, she would love to gift you with prestige and power and a noble home if you would be willing to accept it.
Oh, absolutely. After this incident, I became scared for Marco. I know everyone in the village loves him and means well, but our tiny village can't protect us. Protect Marco from people who would use his ability for ill. Yes, I will go. Give me a day to pack. And with that, she packs up her things and you head off back to Mulvent. You go back to Lady Elmwood, and with just a mere hug, Marco is able to heal Lady Elmwood, and she revives in front of you like a plant that was desperately in need of water, and you poured some water on it. She just almost revitalizes herself almost completely. She looks quite spry and even a little younger than her 60-something years.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Woohoo!
And before you leave, Marco looks at all three of you and gives you a hug, and you notice this rune appear glowing upon your skin. This mark, it acts as a charm of vitality So basically, it is a one use of the Potion of Vitality. That you can just tap this sort of symbol on your skin. And boom, you get a one use of the Potion of Vitality. Which I think normally has 3 uses.
Nice.
And you also gain the respect of the pierced snout tribe, the Cobalt tribe you fought. By diffusing the situation and negotiating restitution for the child, you've earned the respect of Matron Tonki and her tribe. If you ever meet with them in the future, you may be able to garner their help.
Excellent.
And with that, you also earn... You earn 275 gold, not each. Let me divide it amongst 3. You earn 92 gold each. Along with 5 downtime days, and if you are a member of a faction, 1 renown point. Oh, and 2 potions of healing, and you can choose which amongst you should get them.
I think the 2 level 1s should get them.
Alright, 2 level 1s, you get a free healing potion.
Nice.
My thanks.
You're welcome. And with that, I will end the stream. I want to say thank you to everyone who is watching. So thank you, the creator of this module, Xavier. And
Yeah, thanks,
apparently, Zan, you get a +1. Thank you, Bloodlust. Thank you, Commander Ruth. Thank you, Decaf Smurf. Thank you, Cosmic Dragon. Thank you, Laughing Goblins. Thank you, Slow Cool. Thank you, Splade Hunter. Thank you, Teshente. Thank you, Whoppies. And thank you all. Have a nice night. Bye-bye.